The Chicago Bears made a roster move on Thursday, September 19th, that gives some hints of what to expect this Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts. Keenan Allen is looking more and more doubtful, especially with no practice again over the last week due to that heel injury. And now Rome, limited again with that knee injury, raises even more concerns and questions. Also, the move has given some indication that Velus Jones Jr. could be a healthy scratch again this upcoming Sunday for the Bears. Which honestly, can you blame Eberflus at all for that? The guy that they brought on knows this Chicago Bears offense as he was a part of the Bears the entire offseason, and I honestly like this move a lot just for a little bit of clarity and depth. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Nick Brody, and as always, thank you for tuning in. Now, before I get into the full breakdown today of this roster move, like this video if you think Velus Jones Jr. needs to stay on the bench for a little bit longer and get more practice so we cannot fumble any more games away, potentially, along with commenting PVO for positive vibes only for the guys who are going through injuries right now. And please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Help us get to 18,250 before the start of week 3 versus the Indianapolis Colts. So what's that roster move? The Bears brought back John Jackson III to their practice squad today. The former USC and Nevada wide receiver was signed back to the Bears on Thursday. He was a pretty solid player during rookie training camp and the preseason for the Bears, and now he is back on the roster for the time being. The big wide receiver is versatile and adds key depth to the Bears practice squad, and could become active depending on Rome and Allen's status this upcoming week. The 23-year-old 6'1", 215-pound wide receiver attended USC with Caleb Williams and then transferred to Nevada, and he is from Reynolds Beach, California, running a 4.5 40 time and a 33-inch vertical. He is a good player to have on your roster from a versatility standpoint, along with his special teams ability. He's really good friends with Caleb Williams. These guys know each other. They work well. But also, on top of that, he has a very solid scouting report, very good hands, good vision, good speed. And you saw that a lot during the preseason for the Bears. A packed wide receiver room as is already obviously indicates that he probably wasn't going to make this roster. And a lot of people were shocked he didn't make the practice squad initially. Bears brought him back, though, which probably means that Colin Johnson is going to stay on the active roster for the Bears, along with even bringing Jackson up, depending on how Rome Odunze does. Keenan Allen, I'm just saying, is going to be doubtful, guys. He's just too banged up right now. He clearly is uncomfortable. He was hobbling on the sidelines during the Texans game. Honestly, I wish they would just put him in a boot so that he could heal up even faster. But John Jackson, again, big 6'1", 215-pound wide receiver. I like that the Bears brought him back because he can bulldoze over smaller defenders. He also, on top of it, does have really good vision and a strong connection with Caleb Williams. I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar, but anything can happen in this league, and I'm happy they brought him back because he also knows this offense. But also on special teams, he's a good gunner. He can go after the receiving team pretty quickly, so something to keep in mind. But it does give a very big indication that Rome and Allen's injury is something that the Bears are concerned about. So Keenan Allen, I already kind of said it earlier, is looking doubtful, which is a little bit concerning for me, considering this is the second week in a row, and especially that he was hobbling against the Houston Texans. The Bears obviously have a pretty packed IR room right now with Ian Wheeler and Ryan Bates, so I don't think they could even put Allen on if they wanted to. So they're going to have to find that depth at wide receiver. They do have DJ Moore. They do have Tyler Scott. They do have Colin Johnson and then Velus Jones. The big problem that I have with that is that I don't want Velus Jones playing wide receiver. Too many drop passes, too many fumbles. The inconsistency is there. Keep him as a running back. And I'm shocked that the Bears didn't use him there against the Houston Texans, but he was a healthy scratch. And I think he's going to be a healthy scratch again with these moves. I think Colin Johnson is going to end up staying on the roster, being the big-bodied wide receiver that we need. Along with that, too, who knows who could actually be playing. Rome's injury, though, I think is a little bit more concerning, too, because he did land a little awkwardly in the end zone when he tried making that catch against the Houston Texans, where he ended up dropping it, unfortunately. And you really didn't see too much more activity from Rome for the rest of the game. DJ Moore cannot be the only wide receiver out there. The Bears have to take advantage of this Colts banged up defense right now. I mean, they're definitely going to run the ball a lot more, but you obviously want to get Caleb Williams' confidence up. You want to see Caleb Williams throw a touchdown, and obviously not having Keenan Allen out there is a pretty big loss. I want to see him be able to spread out the offense, be a mentor to Caleb Williams. And if he plays this week, absolutely fantastic. Same with Rome. But it's not looking good right now. He looks uncomfortable with that heel, and he's probably going to be out a little bit longer. And I kind of started hitting on this, though, already. But Velus Jones probably is going to be a healthy scratch again this week. We have a packed running back room. You want to see Tyler Scott get more key reps in there. You have Colin Johnson, who's your 6'6" wide receiver that can be a red zone target. Honestly, if he would have thrown to Colin Johnson on that play that he indicated to Rome against the Houston Texans, I think it would have been a touchdown. The Bears have 4 dropped touchdown passes so far this year, which is a big problem. 2 from Odunze, 1 from Keenan Allen, and the other one, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, was from DeAndre Swift in week 1. It's just frustrating because you want to see the kid do well. And Velus has butterfinger for hands. Unless you have the ball in his hands, he's not going to catch it. Like, I know he looked good in practice, guys, but I could see him being a healthy scratch again. I would maybe even the Bears bring Rashawn Johnson, keep him a non-healthy scratch, which I think was insane that they did that week 1. The win's a win, but Rashawn Johnson needs to get reps. But overall, you have a big wide receiver in Colin Johnson taking over. You have Velus Jones Jr. that just can't catch anything. And Tyler Scott can also be a huge threat because Caleb clearly has a cannon of an arm. He keeps overthrowing his wide receivers. And Tyler Scott being the fastest wide receiver on this roster right now, you need him out there in order to have a chance to get that pass. DeAndre Carter, he's been looking pretty good too, but you have to keep him on for his special teams ability because he is just fantastic from a punt and kick return action. So maybe Velus is going to be a healthy scratch again. I think that Bears Nation wouldn't be too upset about that. Unfortunately, nothing against the guy. I wish him the best, but it is what it is in this NFL. You mess up, especially during the regular season, you don't get many more chances. You could tell Matt Eberflus was actually frustrated with him against the Titans. Overall, guys, I like that the Bears are aggressive with their moves. I like what they're doing for this roster. They're constantly making sure that we have key depth pieces. They're bringing in people that know this offense already. Shane Waldron's offense seems to be pretty complex. How the offensive line isn't understanding it as well as we would like to, clearly at the moment. Chris Morgan also needs to work on some things with Shane Waldron, which I pray that they are working in the room right now with each other on what could be next. So bringing in, a wide receiver that knows this offense pretty well, knows Caleb Williams, has a strong connection with him. John Jackson could be the guy that does that. So I'm excited about this move. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section below, because obviously this is a must-win game for me. The Bears have to go 2-1 entering the Rams game. The Rams, after getting blown out by the Cardinals, obviously aren't in very good spirits. They want to bounce back. They're a good team. They came out and almost beat the Lions, and that says a lot. I think the Buccaneers are a really good team, so they beat the Lions. So the Rams are a good team. They just had a bad day against the Cardinals, and we play them next week. So we need to start getting some momentum going on this offense. We need to expand this playbook. We need to make sure that we have the confidence there. The offensive line's getting confidence, wide receiver room's getting confidence, and obviously the number one priority is Caleb Williams. So I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section below on this quick update about the Bears roster moves. At the end of the day, I don't see him coming up, but I like that the Bears, if they have that idea of bringing him up, why not give the rookie a shot? I think it'd be a lot of fun to watch. And who knows, Bears could have gotten a gem because Ryan Poles is pretty good at finding them. But with that, thank you as always for tuning into this episode of Just Another Year Chicago, guys. Again, please hit the like button on this video. Comment your thoughts, especially positive vibes only or PVO. I love that you guys are doing that, by the way, or FGB, whatever you guys want to do. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But with that, thank you as always for tuning in, and bear down, baby.